Hi everyone and welcome to our group presentation. I wanted to quickly introduce our group before taking you through the decide, design, develop, and evaluate phases of our project. My name is Elizabeth and I took on the role of program manager. We have Jason and he was our writer. James was our audio and visual creator. Shelby was our programmer and quality controller, and we all became experts on subject matter and helped each other out whenever possible. Our group is Drexel Education Virtual Orbit. We are Devo. Hope you enjoy our presentation. My name's Elizabeth Reinecker, and I will be going over the decide phase of Devo's Catch a Cloud project. For our project, we decided to work with a fourth grade classroom, and we designed a project that would involve a jigsaw multimedia presentation. We decided to focus on an inquiry-based science exploration of what causes the different types of clouds and weather. We wanted to make sure standards were being met, so we used Pennsylvania standards and were able to incorporate science, language arts, and mathematics, as well as most of the NET standards. As a group, we decided that we would separate our classroom into 4 separate groups, and each group would be assigned a specific cloud type. Now, with that cloud, they would be required to become an expert on their cloud, and in turn they would create their own multimedia presentation. So they would either be stratus, cirrus, cumulus, or cumulonimbus group, and they would research those clouds, work together, and then plan, design, and produce an educational PowerPoint presentation. The teacher will be there to guide and help all groups along the way, checking in, helping with technology, but in the end, the peers will be using peer teaching and everyone will be learning from their classmates' presentations. The learning goals by the end that we have hoped to achieve are that students will be able to understand how atmospheric variables such as temperature, pressure, moisture, and wind interact to produce different types of clouds and different weather conditions. Students will be able to identify and distinguish between 4 general types of clouds: cumulus, cirrus, stratus, and cumulonimbus. Students will be able to define and use the words condensation, precipitation, humidity, and relative humidity. Students will be able to list and describe various instruments used to measure variables that affect the weather, regarding a thermometer, rain gauge, weather vane, and barometer. Students will also be able to apply their understanding of weather patterns to make weather predictions based on data. They should be able to analyze the system of interacting weather variables through the use of graph charts and graphic organizers. Students will be able to predict basic weather conditions and cloud types based on measurement data from weather instruments. That concludes the decide phase of our presentation, and next we will be moving on to the design phase.
Hi, I'm Shelby, and I'm going to talk about the design phase of our project. In this phase, we set up 3 goals. 1, to complete the intention content outline. 2, to create the flowchart. And 3, to create storyboards. In the intention outline, we stated the specific outcome of our Catch a Cloud project, which was for students to learn to research a topic, then find and compile information to create a PowerPoint presentation. The content outline was then set up like a DDDE model. There were both teacher and student roles that were stated under each phase. In the first phase, the decide phase, the teacher role was to divide the students into 4 groups, assign them a cloud type, and then assign them group roles. The students then had to brainstorm research on their cloud and conduct research on their cloud, such as taking notes on the material they found and adding links, pictures, and videos that they would like to use in their presentation. They also completed a graphic organizer on their cloud type. In the design phase, the teacher role was to present students with their design guidelines. The student role was to outline the content. decide the screen design, create their script, and they also had a fact checkers activity to complete. In the third phase, the develop phase, the teacher role was to demonstrate multimedia tools that they could use in their presentation, present the presentation requirements, such as using animation, video, and audio, and distributing the rubric for the presentation. The student role was to choose the multimedia they would like to use in their PowerPoint presentation, create the PowerPoint, and also then present it to their class. The evaluate phase for the teacher took place throughout the entire project, as they would observe and evaluate the students throughout the phases and provide them with feedback. They also had a formative assessment via their group conferences. The teacher evaluated the student presentations using the rubric, and then there was a final project evaluation. The student role during the evaluate phase was to peer reflect and critique their classmates' presentations, and compare and contrast discussions on clouds, and then also the group evaluation based on the rubric. The next element in this phase was the flow chart. It outlined each step that the students will take in completing their projects, from being placed in groups and being assigned their roles, down to the peer reflection and critique of their classmates' presentations. Lastly, storyboards were created. These storyboards showed how to introduce the topic of clouds and weather. They discussed prerequisite knowledge that needed to be reviewed, such as the 3 states of water. And they also discussed the actual formation and function of clouds. These storyboards all included the graphics and scripts that would be used. Next, you will hear from Jason, who will be describing the develop phase of our project.
Hello, I'm Jason Maroney, and I'm going to review the development phase of our Catch a Cloud project. The Devo team developed multimedia elements that enhance students' learning and their achievement of content objectives throughout the Catch a Cloud project. These 4 types of digital media elements, graphics, sounds, screen captures, and animations, incorporate technology throughout the activities and engage all types of learners. In developing each type of media element, Devo established themes and relevant instruction to support content knowledge, as well as the students' use of multimedia technology within the project. To help guide group research during the decide phase of the Catch a Cloud project, our team developed 4 unique graphic organizers for cirrus, cumulus, stratus, and cumulonimbus clouds. Each graphic was a star chart featuring a unique cloud label and graphic in the center, which linked to 4 subtopics: altitude, associated weather, temperature, and humidity. These graphic elements lead the group explorations to key standards and help students organize their research information. Devo also created educational sound elements to enhance students' learning within the decide phase of Catch a Cloud. Original poems and songs were developed with rhyming and repetition to present new concepts and vocabulary in a memorable way that connects with musically intelligent learners. Project sound elements cover key topic content such as different types of clouds, basic cloud characteristics, and humidity. Beyond sounds and static graphics, Devo also created animations to promote comprehension of more complex science concepts within the standards. Our animations portray processes relating to basic clouds and weather, such as the states of water, the relationship between humidity and temperature, and the formation of clouds. These elements will not only engage visual learners, but should also help reinforce and show the new concepts students are encountering during decide phase research. The other unique media elements our team developed for Catch a Cloud were screen capture tutorials. The screen captures were designed to support students' effective use of multimedia technology during the design and develop phases of our project, when the groups would be planning and producing their own PowerPoint slideshow presentations. One screen capture offers general design tips to guide students to good decisions in organizing information and planning the graphical layout of slideshow slides during the design phase of the project. 2 screen captures cover topics specific to the Microsoft PowerPoint program, one on using templates and layout themes in the program, and another on the various types of slide transitions and how to apply them. The final screen capture covered using design software to create an original cloud graphic. These last three screen captures all teach students skills they can apply as they create their original PowerPoint slideshows during the development phase of the Catch a Cloud project. Devo developed these individual media elements to guide and enhance learning throughout the project. The final task for Devo in the development phase of our Catch a Cloud project was to create a digital space that delivered these multimedia elements to students throughout the project and provided them with a forum to share and reflect on their learning and group work. What we came up with was the Catch a Cloud web portal, which provides students access to our individual media elements, links to age-appropriate online resources, and forums to share and comment on project work.
Hello, I'm James Hughes, and I'll be reviewing the evaluation phase of the Devo Catch a Cloud project. Our team has planned a variety of evaluations for this final phase of the DDDE lesson. In addition to the teacher's evaluation of groups and individual students, we've also prepared opportunities for the students to evaluate their own work and the work of their peers. Finally, the Catch a Cloud evaluation phase also allows students to evaluate the teacher to provide feedback on their personal experiences and learning throughout the project. The teacher's evaluation of students will take place with formative and summative assessments. The primary summative assessment for student achievement of the curriculum and NETS objectives will be our presentation rubric, an authentic assessment of the collaborative work of each student group. Because all group activities work towards PowerPoint slideshows, this presentation rubric is the centerpiece of our evaluation phase. The rubric criteria are based on the Catch a Cloud content objectives, and the rubric will be available on the web portal for students to use and refer to throughout all phases of the Catch a Cloud project. So, the presentation rubric is not only a final assessment for all aspects of student learning, it is also a tool for students to understand the required multimedia elements and standard-based expectations during all activities within the project. Another summative assessment to gauge students' individual achievement are brief content quizzes based on each group's cloud presentation. The student groups will create the items on these quizzes as a short test on the material that they will be presenting in their slideshows. Student performance on peer-created quizzes are factored within the presentation rubric. These quizzes provide evidence that individual students are learning content from the peer presentation, and the creation of the quizzes provides evidence that the students in each group are masters of what they have set out to learn. In addition to the summative assessments of Catch a Cloud, the evaluation phase also involves the teacher's reflection on formative assessments that have occurred throughout the earlier phases of the project. As each student team sets out to perform research, plan their presentations, and produce the slideshows, the teacher is constantly observing each group, tracking progress, and providing guidance. Teacher observations will involve checklists based on objectives, journal notes on collaborative group work, and direct communication with groups and individual students. A major part of the teacher's formative assessments will be teacher group conferences scheduled throughout the project phases. These conferences provide teachers with opportunities to give students feedback and direction based on their progress. Beyond the teacher's summative and formative evaluations of student work, the Catch a Cloud project also includes opportunities for the students to evaluate themselves, their peers, the teacher, and the project as a whole. Throughout the project, students can share their progress and ideas through the web portal, and classmates have the opportunity to review and comment on the work of their peers. Also, Throughout the project, and especially during the final evaluation phase, students will create and post personal blog journals regarding their experiences in Catch a Cloud. These blog journals will contain students' reflections on their group's progress, their experience throughout the activities, and their learning during the project as a whole. The blog journals are a very valuable part of the evaluation phase of our project because they provide feedback for the teacher, which will in turn inform instruction, while also serving as student self and peer evaluation forums. These are all clouds, these are all clouds. Different characteristics give them different appearances.